I've seen a lot of crazy stuff in the OTC markets, but this one here, I think, is on at the top or very near the top. So you're gonna enjoy this one. If you're new to this channel, my name is Mariusz Skonieczny. I run Microcap Explosions, a private membership website dedicated to microcap stocks, which are ignored and underfollowed by the investment industry. I also wrote 10 books on investing, one of which is available for a free download at microcapexplosions.com. Recently, I also created Value Investing University, which is a free resource to make you a more intelligent investor. All right, let's get on with it. Someone sent me this company, HUMBL Inc. And as you can see from the chart, incredible performance from late 2000, shot up all the way to almost $6. And then it's been crushing ever since. Now, I want to make this kind of like a reaction video because we can learn a lot from it. So I'm going to play what another YouTuber has to say about this company. I'm going to, make my comments on that. So let's go ahead and get started.
What's up, guys? This is your boy Andrew with Alpha Status Stocks, and listen, guys, today's video is all about HUMBL stock. I realized that I called this stock way when it was super cheap. It ran up, and now it's continuing to crash back. Today, I'm going to be a big brother. I'm going to remind you exactly what you own. I'm going to tell you why we invested in the first place. We're going to talk about share structure and bear arguments. I got a jam-packed video for you. This is the only video you need to watch about HUMBL stock to have conviction to hold or buy. Let's get it. And currently, HUMBL is sitting at $1. $1. I never thought we would be sitting at this price again. However, guys, we have been tanking, and I'm going to go over exactly.
Yeah, it's been sitting at $1. Now it's sitting at 14 cents.
It's important for my thought process. When my stocks start pulling back, I always think of, okay, Andrew, why did you invest into the company in the first place? What are the fundamentals? And I highly recommend you write these down somewhere you can see them. Maybe you text them to yourself, put them in the notes on your phone. Whatever you have to do, guys, I highly recommend you keep these notes around somewhere where you can see them, where they can constantly remind you. Because during a pullback, it's not easy to hold on to a stock, especially when it loses over 90% of its value. So for me, why did I invest in the HUMBL? Because HUMBL is currently making a Web 3.0. There is no other competitor, no other company in the game right now that has been able to develop Web 3.0. So this is something revolutionary. And then my next thought was, okay, let's define Web 3.0. What does that mean for the consumer? What does that mean for the retail investor? That means that you have a platform where you can read, write, and you can transact seamlessly across borders. Now, my next thought was, okay, send money across borders. Well, there's companies that you can already do that with, like PayPal, right? Well, what's the problem with PayPal right now? Well, currently, if you do own PayPal right now, first of all, they're not completely global. They are in many countries, but they're not completely global. And then the second part is they have horrible fees, and you can't get same-day transactions, which means if you send money across borders, a lot of times they won't get it the same day unless they pay a huge fee, right? So that's where HUMBL comes in. Then I was taking a look at HUMBL. I'm like, okay, they're using blockchain technology, and they're going to lower fees. Instead of it being around 3 to 5%, they're promising 1%. Okay, so that's a competitive advantage. And then not only that, they're using the blockchain technology, which means they'll be able to send money seamlessly same day, and the receiver will get it on the same exact day, even if you send it across borders. And for me, I'm thinking, man, that just makes sense. As a consumer, I'm saving money on all these fees, right? But not only that, I'm saving time, and time is even more valuable. For many of the viewers here, you may have family that's in another country. For example, maybe Mexico, maybe South America, maybe Brazil. And when you send money over to them, they can get it on the same day, which is very, very important, guys. So for me, that was a clear advantage. I'm like, okay, so HUMBL has an advantage here. But then the more I looked enough.
All right, so Web 3.0, revolutionary, blockchain. The three most important elements for good investment.
HUMBL, the more I realized that the comparison shouldn't even be against PayPal. The comparison should be with another multi-billion-dollar company. And we're going to dive in even more on that in just a second.
Okay, so he's talking about that this company shouldn't even be compared to PayPal. Should be compared into another multi-billion-dollar company. Now, keep one thing in mind. In 2020, they didn't have any revenues. Zero revenues. Now they have a couple or $3 million worth of revenues. And he wants to compare it to a multi-billion-dollar company.
Second. But let's talk about the second sector we have here as part of Web 3.0. Then you have a humble marketplace. And I'm like, okay, so humble marketplace, what is the first thing that I think of when I think of marketplace? I think of Amazon. I think of Etsy, right? These huge companies. Well, what Humble is looking to do is have an app where you can send money seamlessly across borders. But not only that, but they want to have a marketplace there as well, like an Amazon, even where you can list.
Now, notice what he's saying. Humble is looking to do this, this, or that. He didn't say Humble has done this, this, or that. Humble is looking to do this, this, or that.
Digital assets, NFTs, and then they wrote out Humble Studios. And Humble Studios is via artisan, and you can actually sell your products online as a small business, which gives you an e-commerce platform where you can reach even more customers worldwide. Okay, that's something great for the consumer. And also,
so he's talking about a marketplace where people can, sell NFTs. Very important asset.
It makes it easy for me, right? Because if I want to send money and I want to be able to list my products, I can use the same application. I don't have to leave the application. Okay. And then tell me more. And then I seen, okay, well, Humble is also rolling out another division. And this division is called Humble Financials. Now, what makes Humble Financials a little different? Because I know you can invest money with Cash App, right? I think you can even do it with Zelle. And PayPal's letting you invest now as well. So what makes this one a little bit different? And then I found out about an ETX. I'm like, okay, so ETX is very similar to an ETF where you're investing into a bundle of different stocks, right? Except for what's different with the ETX is you're investing into a bundle of digital assets. And digital assets is the fastest growing asset sector right now. It is absolutely killing the stock market. As you can see, the craze of cryptocurrency and all of these coins are going to the moon while the stock market is crashing. So I'm starting to notice that. I'm like, okay, it seems to me like they have clear competitive advantages. Well, let's see what the smart people think about this stock, or let's see what the smart people think about this sector. Because it's easy to go listen to the bear over in StockTwits who's typing Humble is a crap stock. They don't have any revenue. But
did you catch this? It's easy to listen. It's easy to listen to somebody who's bashing the stock because they don't have any revenues. Yeah, I would think that having revenues is kind of important, especially when a company's market cap reaches $1 billion, don't you think? So here's an article that was written in December 14, 2020. Okay? December 14, right here. Before the 10x run up, okay? At that point already, the startup, okay, was valued at over 1 billion. 1 billion. He doesn't think it's important to have revenues for something like this to have a valuation of over 1 billion. But the crazier thing is that since that article, the stock went up like 10x. Yeah? But having revenues is not important. We're creating Web 3.0, revolutionary, blockchain, NFTs. Yeah, it has all the elements to make it a unicorn and make it worth billions of dollars.
People think about this sector. And one of my mentors, one of the smart people I really look up to in the stock market is Cathie Wood. What is Cathie?
Oh, okay. I was just about to ask myself where he gets his education. Well, now explains it all.
Cathie Wood think about digital wallets? Well, let's take a look. Cathie Wood goes on in CNBC to say Cathie Wood sees these two trends as the next big things after electric vehicles. ARK Invest Cathie Wood said digital wallets and genomics are the next two biggest disruptive trends after Tesla and the electric vehicles. We're very excited about digital wallets, Wood said on CNBC. We really think that these digital wallets and two-sided marketplaces, merchants and consumers are going to usurp a lot of the role that banks play today. So we got Cathie Wood who's in favor that says this is one of the top two sectors that will disrupt the game over the next decade. So okay, that gives me even more comfort in my initial investment. And then now
it's amazing, isn't it? Cathie Wood, right? Using her, whatever she says, that gives him comfort to invest in something that has very little revenues, but it's worth billions of dollars.
Not only that as well, guys, as you can see right here, it is expected that more than 6.1 billion people will be using digital payments and digital wallets over the next few years. So we have a population.
Let's do this. Microcap explosions. There's 300 million people in the US. If I can just get 10% of them or 1% of them to sign up for microcap explosions, microcap explosions is going to be worth a lot of money.
Population of the entire world of over 7 billion, and 6.1 billion of those people are going to be using digital wallets. So what that tells me is that this total addressable market is massive. Your total addressable market literally is the whole entire world. We're talking global here. So we're not even talking about a small market. We're talking about a massive market, which gives me even more conviction. Okay, but that's not enough, right? Because the DD doesn't stop there. We need to talk about this business plan, right? This business format that they have where they're making an all-inclusive super app where you have a Humble Marketplace, a Humble Pay, and you're having a Humble Financial. Now, is there any other multi-billion-dollar company that has executed on this business strategy? And the answer to that is yes, and it's not PayPal. Everybody wants to compare Humble Pay to PayPal, but that is not the comparison that you need to be making. And even Brian Foote has come on all of his investor calls and said, PayPal is not the comparison. We are looking to do exactly what Alibaba did over in China. Now, maybe you're not.
Yeah, we're going to take and compare a startup to an Alibaba. Last time I checked, I don't even want to say that. Let's see what the guy has to say.
Familiar with Alibaba, but Alibaba has this exact same business plan. So they currently have Alipay, Alibaba Marketplace, and Ant Financial. And they offer many of the same things that Humble does as well, right? But the difference is they're over in China, and their market share over in China is massive. They have over 1 billion users over in China. Now, what Humble is looking to do, right, is to take that same exact strategy and capture all the market share over here in the Western Hemisphere, and especially Latin America and Oceania countries, right? Because
no problem. No problem. Let's just put up a website and say, look at Alibaba. We're going to try to do the same thing here or in South America. No problem.
Because that's okay. That's okay that Alibaba is dominating over in China because there's so much more market share. Remember, we're going to have over 6.1 billion people, and this market is going to continue to grow over the next decade. So all of that's starting to make sense to me, right? And then I'll take a look. Okay, well, let's look at Alibaba. What is the current market cap for this business over in China? Because they executed perfectly. So my thought process, if Humble executes perfectly on their game plan, and they're actually able to build a business like Alibaba, what is that company worth in the marketplace? Well, currently,
is he smoking something here? Like, is this a joke or he's seriously saying what he's saying?
Right now, when you take a look at Alibaba's share price, they're currently sitting at $209.03 while I'm making this video. And if you take a look at the market cap, it is a $563 billion market cap. This is massive, guys. Compare that over to Humble, that's barely sitting at a $1 billion market cap right now. So minus.
I need to see this chart again. Okay. Alibaba is sitting at 500 billion market cap at that time. Of course, now it's lower. And as a result, that's why you should be paying $1 billion for Humble. Yeah, for a startup that barely has any revenues. And he's comparing it to Alibaba, that last time I checked, had a free cash flow of $300 billion per year. Free cash flow.
$1 billion market cap right now. So my initial thoughts is, okay, if they are able to execute on everything they say they're going to do, this thing has a massive opportunity to not 2x, 3x, 4x your money, but 100 to 300x your money if they can execute like Alibaba did. Okay, but that's not.
Is this what some of you guys thought when you told me that the majority of the YouTube channels out there are just complete trash when in comparison to my YouTube channel? Is this what you guys meant? Because I can't even believe he's saying this, that Humble has a 200, 300x opportunity because he's comparing it to Alibaba. I mean, I cannot even believe that this is coming out of his mouth. All right, let's take a look at another person that has some good insight here. This guy is actually negative on the stock, but he actually has some advice to the company on what they should do to make the stock go up.
What's up, investors and Money Talk family? Welcome to yet another video. In today's video, guys, we're going to be discussing HUMBL, ticker symbol HMBL. I'm going to be discussing some of the things that the company needs to do in order for the share price to start rising again from its declines of all-time lows. All right, guys. Now, let's get talking about HUMBL and what are some things that the CEO, the HUMBL CEO, Mr. No breaks or whatever, 24/7 work, no time off or whatever his Twitter bio says. I forgot right now. Right, has to do in order to turn this company around, right, guys? Because the company is just going lower and lower and lower and lower, down 75% in the previous month alone, or 6 months rather. That would be crazy in 1 month, Jesus, right? But down 75.
No, it's not crazy at all. When you don't have a business, or when the business is, not generating as much revenue to support the valuation, no, it's not crazy at all.
5% in the previous 6 months. What is happening to HUMBL, guys, and how can they turn this company around? Down 96% in 1 year. 96%. I know a lot of people have given up on HUMBL, but this can absolutely all change if the CEO interplays the things that I'm going to talk about in this video. Now,
I am really looking forward to hearing his suggestions.
A CEO, and there's no need for the CEO to listen to me, but these are just some general suggestions, right, that could turn the company from 20 cents to upwards of maybe $5, right, guys? So
listen to this, upward to $5 from where it is today. Now, let's not forget that the company has almost 1 billion shares, okay? So for this to be at $5, it would have a market cap of $5 billion. Yeah, assuming there's no more shares being printed.
I talk about, well, the first thing that needs to happen is that the CEO needs to make up his mind on what he's going to do, right? Is this an NFT company? Is this a peer-to-peer paying company, right? But this is something that I've previously criticized the company on, and there's no point in me going further in it. And if you watch my previous HUMBL videos, you know that I'm a critic of the CEO and regarding how he's so, he's just like, he's trying to do everything, right? And that's what worries me, is that this is going to be a company that tries to do everything and ends up being nothing. Now, the next thing that this company needs to have, right, which I believe is even more crucial to them than what I just stated, right, is going to be a share restructure, right? This company must restructure their shares, guys. There's no 947 million outstanding shares is just embarrassing, right? It just shows how much they're stealing the investors' money, right? But just dilute.
It's a candidate. It's a candidate for a reverse split.
And diluting. Okay, so they need to have.
So think about this. Why is this company diluting? If you think about a company like Alibaba, do you think Alibaba became Alibaba with no investment? Somebody has to pay for the growth. Somebody has to pay for the investment. Somebody has to pay to get clients, to get brand awareness. Somebody has to pay for it. So there's a lot of investment, development, research, everything that is needed in order to take a startup from where it is today to even if it wants to be Alibaba, okay? It's going to take time. It's going to take investment. There's barely any revenues. There's no profits here. So the money has to come from somewhere. Of course, he has to be diluting to death for something like this to happen.
Okay, so they need to have a shares buyback in order to lower the float. And I hope my criticism.
Did you just catch this? They need to have a share buyback. Are you freaking joking me? A share buyback with what? In the companies that do share buybacks, they do them because they generate profits. Okay? They generate profits, and then those profits are best used to do a share buyback. This company barely has any revenues. There's no chance of them doing a buyback. But, nothing surprises me anymore in this day and age on how people invest, how they look at companies. They idolize people like Cathy Wood, like what I showed you before, and they just look at something disruptive, revolutionary, it's going to grow, and they just pay any price for it. They don't even pay attention to, it's like, what are the revenues today? The company says we're going to do A, B, and C, and then they just take it at face value. They buy the stock, they get excited all at the same time, and then growing a business, it's tough. And if you ever did anything in business, you know that it's tough to get clients. You know that it's tough to sell the product. It takes money, it takes resources. Now, I'm not saying that these companies or you cannot be successful, but everything has a price and value. And paying $1 billion or $5 billion for a startup just because the CEO says, I'm a hardworking, I don't take any days off, is pretty gullible to think that. And when I saw this and I saw that first video, I was just like, at first I was like, no, I can't believe this. But then I was like, yeah, this is the day that we live in, and this is how people invest their money right now. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it.